It was on this same floor last March that the Iowa Hawkeyes were recognized as the regular season champions, and then the Minnesota Golden Gophers took home the Big Ten championship. And we are delighted to be in Minnesota on the Big Ten Network for an exciting tri-meet featuring 3 top 20 teams, UCLA, Iowa, and your host, Minnesota. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dean Linke alongside 4-time team champion from Michigan, as well as 4-time All-American, talking about the great Olivia Karras. And speaking of great, what a wonderful way to kick off our coverage on the Big Ten Network.
Dean, we are so excited that Big Ten Gymnastics is back in 2022, and what a way to kick it off than at the reigning Big Ten champs home at Minnesota. We have Lexi Ramler and Anna Lober back for a super senior year. These two NCAA superstars are looking to put an exclamation point on their already superb careers. Speaking of super seniors, Claire Kaji is back for her 6th year. The heartbeat of this Iowa squad, taking the young ones under her wing, and that's Adeline Kenlin, 2021 Big Ten Freshman of the Year, competing in the all-around and excited to bring more elegance and grace to this squad.
Making this meet even better, the mighty Bruins from UCLA.
The Queens of the West have arrived, and they're led by the highly anticipated freshman debut from Olympic silver medalist Jordan Childs. But this is not just a young squad, Dean. We have Margzetta Frazier, the senior on this Bruins squad, went viral last season for her floor routine, brings a lot of pizzazz and spark and performance. Get ready for some fun gymnastics today.
3 great programs with 3 great coaches. Larissa Libby, the Canadian superstar who was a great gymnast at LSU, your reigning Big Ten Coach of the Year. Chris Waller, the Bruin, back at home, his 3rd year leading this impressive Bruin program that have won 7 national championships. And then, of course, Minnesota getting their first Big Ten regular season championship since 2006 under Jenny Hansen, who has won the Big Ten Coach of the Year 3 times.
Jenny is one of the most technical coaches, but she's also so caring about her athletes. These 3 coaches bring so much experience to the gymnastics world, and seeing these squads today, we're going to get to see what they worked on in this off season and continue pushing limits as all 3 teams, part of their motto is they're all in for this season.
You see on the back of Chris Waller's shirt honoring MLK Day as you see Minnesota getting ready on the vault. Today we honor the life and legacy of Martin Luther King Jr. And to quote the great MLK, I've decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. And all kinds of love here on this tri-meet with 3 outstanding teams.
One of my favorite things in Big Ten gymnastics is the friendship between Iowa and Minnesota. They call themselves the Big Ten Besties. So to have them together here on the opening meet of Minnesota's season, add in the amazing UCLA Bruins who just bring such exciting and unique gymnastics. We have 3 teams that can contend for really big things this season, and it all is happening right here at the same time.
So the biggest question is you see UCLA in gold. They're making their debut. Minnesota's making their debut, but Iowa has already participated in 2 meets. How does that change the dynamic for the Hawkeyes?
Iowa has 2 meets under their belt, one being this past Friday. So I know when we talked to head coach Larissa Libby, she told us that she wants this team to settle in. She wants them to be mindful of what they're doing. Don't go for the sticks. Do big and beautiful, bold gymnastics. The sticks will come, is one of the big things she told us. But this is the first time that UCLA and Minnesota are competing in front of a crowd this season. There's going to be some jitters. It's the first meet, but we're excited to see them kick it off and just do what they've been practicing all off season.
Minnesota will start on the vault, UCLA on the bars, and Iowa on the beam. Iowa reaching out to their friends from Minnesota late to get this meet, and of course Minnesota and Iowa had that same relationship last year. They really are friendly foes.
They are, and I love seeing the camaraderie between both teams, cheering for each other. Even when one team wins the Big Ten championship, the other is right there giving them big hugs and congrats. That's exactly what you're looking for in sports, specifically in gymnastics, that close-knit sisterhood.
Lexi Ramler, who actually at one point shared an all-around title in the Big Ten with my broadcast partner Olivia Karras. Her warm-up. Don't be surprised if she hits another 10, a big-time talent.
Lexi Ramler is truly magnificent on all 4 events. She brings energy that is unmatched, difficulty, energy, precision, but she also has an amazing smile that just lights up the room when she performs. I'm really excited to see her this season. It's her last season, but she came back for more.
Yeah, and when you talk to the high-ranking athletic officials at Minnesota, she is very much kind of the face of the franchise. So smart, so likable, and really, really good.
She was the recipient of last season's AAI award, which recognizes the top senior gymnast in the country, in the classroom, in the community, and in the gym. And that's the perfect description of Lexi Ramler. She checks all of those boxes.
All right, Olivia Karras, let's set the table. So let's start with vault, what we're going to expect from all these teams, but especially Minnesota.
For Minnesota on vault, vault is the essence of power and control. You want to fly high, you want to go big and bold, but you want to control the landing. You want to find that perfect stick. So what we're going to be looking for here is these gymnasts doing big vaults, going for that height and that distance, and the sticks will come.
And then as we look at bars for UCLA, we already talked about Margzetta Frazier. Yeah, she went viral on the floor, but she is your reigning Pac-12 champion on the bars.
She is, and you'll see when Margzetta does bars, it's very dynamic. And a lot of times bars gets more of a technical and tempo description. She brings power to bars, which I personally enjoy. It makes it a little more exciting, but you're going to see different styles with these gymnasts on bars.
And then break down the beam for the Iowa Hawkeyes. They'll be anchored by, as we mentioned, the reigning Big Ten Freshman of the Year, Adeline Kenlin, with a career high of 9.925.
Beam is about precision and patience. Everything you do has to remain on top of the balance beam. You want to make sure that you're not wobbling, you're not breaking at the hips. Everything needs to be stable and perfect.
So this is the lineup for Larissa Libby and the Hawkeyes. They'll start with Gilchrist, then followed by Nick, Killian, Vance, Kaji, and Kenlin to wrap it up. Allie Gilchrist, career high 9.775.
The leadoff performance is very important. Allie is going to set the tone for this Iowa team, and she did a beautiful job doing just that. Her series to kick off the routine, a side aerial back handspring. Leap series there, switch leap, split jump. Needed to hit the split a little bit more. She just crossed that 180 mark. Judges are looking for the over splits.
Larissa said she's a rock mentally and physically. That's a nice combo.
It is, and so far we're seeing that beautiful hitch kick to side summy. So far, so good, Dean. I don't see many deductions here for Allie. She's going to finish it up with a gator pike off the end, a little knees in the air, but that's a stuck landing for the Hawkeyes to start this meet.
Hawkeyes earning a ton of respect last year, winning the regular season. And UCLA has 3 Olympians on their team, including this silver medalist making her debut in NCAA women's gymnastics, Jordan Childs.
This is a historic moment, Dean. She is the final team member on that 2020 Olympic team, making her NCAA debut, and so far so good for Jordan Childs. She looks cool as a cucumber up here on bars.
I felt like when Biles was sitting out a few of the events, it was Jordan Childs that really stepped out.
It was, and there she finishes it off with a beautiful full twisting double back, just a hop backwards, but that is a spectacular first routine for Jordan Childs.
Great to have Hallie Remlinger. She started the season fantastic, then an injury. Jenny Hansen thrilled to have her back. Here she goes.
She's going to do a big full twisting Yurchenko. Looks like her right hand slipped a little on the table. You notice we were talking at the beginning about vault being power and control. She lost a little bit of that power with the hand slipping.
Reminding you that all 3 events are going on at the same time, so we will pop around and try to bring you as many of the athletes as possible. Again, it's Minnesota starting on the vault, UCLA on the bars, and Iowa on the beam. Alongside Olivia Karras, I'm Dean Linke, delighted to be with you for what is going to be a great season of women's gymnastics coverage right here on the Big Ten Network. Second up for Minnesota a moment ago, Kate Rotenhuis.
I saw Kate nail a 1.5 in warm-up. Let's see if she can replicate it right here. Looks like she just did the full twisting Yurchenko. Smart move. It's the first meet of the season. Sizable hop backwards, but it's lovely seeing her training those upgrades in the warm-up session on hard competition mats.
Rotenhuis, a junior from Eden Prairie, had her career high at the regionals last year. As we move back over to the bars, Frida Esparza, a career high of 9.925.
This is a lovely routine. You notice on the first handstand, she had a little bit of a hesitation on the handstand, but got right back to it for her transitions. Back up to the high bar for a Shaposh half. She's gonna finish off this lovely routine with a double layout. Teeny little scoop backward. I don't think she needed to do the scoop, but that was a great routine, especially with the shaky first handstand. She really brought it back nicely.
Frida, two-time world championship competitor for Mexico. Getting it done for UCLA. Maya Hooten, who's got a career high of 9.95. Third up on the vault for Jenny Hansen's Golden Gophers.
Maya's gonna do a Yurchenko 1.5. Very nice, little bit of a slide backwards. That's what we like to call an under rotation. That means she didn't get around as much as you might have wanted, which is why she stepped backwards. But again, first meet of the season. You gotta get these jitters out.
Speaking of jitters, this is the freshman Aubrey Nick from the state of Illinois. This is all new for her, but Larissa Libby says she's got that killer instinct.
Starts off with a nice back handspring layout series, little soft in the knees in the layout. I would say one of the things about college gymnastics that's so different is you're competing in such a noisy arena, and it takes getting used to, and so far Aubrey's handling that noise and change very well. Series there, a switch leap into a split jump. Nicely done.
Iowa number 10 nationally in the balance beam.
And a round up 1.5 to a stuck landing for Aubrey Nick. That was a great routine for the freshman.
Lexi Ramler, Big Ten women's gymnastics royalty to say the least. Two-time all-around Big Ten champion, shared one with my broadcast partner, Olivia Karras.
She's a career high of a perfect 10. Let's see what she can do to debut her season, and that was very well done. A little soft in the knees on the landing. The hop forward is, of course, what's not going to give her the perfect 10, but she will still get a lovely and nice score for that beautiful vault.
Ramler had a perfect 10 at the Big Five last year. Now it's Sarah Julius, who had a 9.925 career high, now going for UCLA. Sarah Julius.
She's a very dynamic bar worker. You're going to see this first skill here. A Jaeger, massive height on that Jaeger. She had so much time to see the bar before she grabbed it again.
A molecular cell, and she falls down as I was talking about her bio as a molecular cell and development biology major. And you talk about now, though, with 6 athletes going, what does this mean now for UCLA as we see a fall here early?
6 athletes go, 5 scores count. So, of course, you don't want to have a mistake, Dean, but thankfully, the rest of the lineup can help pick up the slack here a little bit. As they're not going to want to count this fall routine from Sarah, but I really want to give her kudos. She was doing a beautiful routine. Again, first meet of the season, over a little on that handstand. That's an aggressive mistake. That's a mistake you want to see your athletes making. That means she's going for the big gymnastics. And a nice double layout to cap off the routine. I know she's going to be a little bummed, but again, aggressive mistakes are good mistakes, Dean.
So now we go back to the beam. Third to go, Bridget Killian. Her career high is a 9.775. You see Gilchrist in already, as well as Nick. The scores on your Big Ten Network screen.
Larissa Libby calls Bridget Killian the unsung hero of this team. Putting her in the middle of the lineup here is a perfect spot. Very nice back handspring layout. So far, so good on this balance beam routine. Very difficult punch front. Nails it.
You're right, Larissa said she is the stability of the team, a gem, a coach's dream.
Nice switch leap combination there. A little shy of the perfect 180-degree split. The judges are going to have to take a slight deduction for that. She's going to finish it off with a nice double twist, hop backwards, but I've seen 3 really great routines so far from Iowa, and let's not forget, Dean, they competed Friday. So they're making amazing progress so far after having competed already this weekend.
Anna Loper, a 10 on the vault last year against NC State. Super clean in this event.
This vault looks so easy for Anna. She's going to do a 1.5. Beautiful vault for Anna Loper. She did a little bit of a do-si-do there on the landing. Didn't have perfect control. As we mentioned on the top of the show, control is one of the major elements the judges are looking for, so unfortunately, they're going to have to take for that. But again, there's not much deduction to take in the air of that routine.
We move back to the beam for the Iowa Hawkeyes and Mackenzie Vance, a junior from Buda, Texas, with a career high of 9.525.
Opens it up with a super solid back handspring layout series. Very unique side aerial to 2 feet. I don't see that very often, but she performed it as well as I've ever seen it. Split jump to straddle 3/4. Very nicely executed.
Mackenzie always with those beautiful lines.
She's a very natural beam worker. You can tell that she's comfortable on the apparatus. And Dean, let me tell you, that is a very hard thing to be. Just the dismount left for Mackenzie. Cap off an already spectacular routine. That was great. I'm extremely impressed with this Iowa beam squad so far.
Yeah, good work for Mackenzie Vance as she has stuck with it. We go back to our visitors from Westwood. Nora Flatley, the senior from West Des Moines, Iowa. So she's back in Big Ten country. By the way, UCLA has had back-to-back falls. So that is worth noting as Minnesota. One of the things Jenny Hansen did say, she's like, look, we're going to focus on ourselves, but trust me, our athletes understand what it would mean to knock off UCLA.
Unfortunately, as Dean mentioned, there was a fall before Nora from Anna Patarariu. Next up, Nora Flatley, a veteran on this team. She's going to do a very difficult skill here, an eagle grip, directly connected to a Jaeger. So far, so good for Nora. Transition to the low bar. This is where you want one of your experienced veterans to bring the team energy back after 2 falls and into the double layout to a spectacular stuck landing. Welcome to 2022 gymnastics, Nora Flatley. That was excellent.
Yeah, they needed that. Claire Kaji, as Larissa Libby says, this is my baby, 6 years. Remember in 2018, like you, she had to overcome a torn Achilles.
A torn Achilles is a very mental and physical injury to come back from, but Claire has not only come back from it physically, she has left an everlasting footprint in this Iowa program with her leadership and mentorship. Starts off with a floaty back handspring layout. Cat leap to side aerial. Solid as a rock. Split jump to split 3/4. Very difficult landing sideways on the balance beam. She made it look very, very easy.
Like her coach from Canada.
Just the dismounted back handspring into a gainer full. Dean, that's as well as I've ever seen Claire Kaji compete beam, and it's worth noting she got a 9.9 on Friday when they were home. I think that could be a 9.9 or maybe even a little higher.
So Loper in with a 9.95, last to go. Maddie Quarles for the Gophers.
And this is big, hold on. Nice job on the Yurchenko 1.5. Again, we're gonna talk about control. She never really stopped. She kept moving and saluted the judge as she was moving, and judges are gonna have to take a deduction for that.
The viral sensation a year ago on the floor, now on the bars where she won a Pac-12 championship, Margzetta Frazier, last to go for the Bruins, and they need a big score from her.
She is effortless on this event. You saw that handstand again, dip in the back. Oh no. Looks like she hit the bar with her ankles, still ends up coming through with a nice dismount. That's very uncharacteristic of Margzetta. Looked like she was off a little bit on the timing, might have hit her ankle. Kudos to her as a veteran for finishing that routine as well as she did, though.
And she definitely looks like she did a little bit of damage here to her ankle, Olivia.
It's worth noting that when we do bars like this, you have to time perfectly the technique, and it looks like she didn't clear the bar as well as she had hoped to do. Again, for her to come back and complete the routine is really spectacular and worth noting.
Trainer keeping an eye on the super talented Frazier, senior from Sicklerville, New Jersey, part of Connections Academy. As we go back to last year's Big Ten Freshman of the Year, Adeline Kinlan, the anchor for Larissa Libby on the Hawkeye beam.
She is such a pleasure to watch on this event. I look forward to Adeline Kinlan on balance beam every time Iowa competes. So solid and aggressive on that back handspring layout. Cat leap to front aerial to a nicely executed beat jump. I love this 1-2 punch of Kaji Kinlan. You can see the similarities in their aggression as beam workers. Confidence exudes when they're on the apparatus. Excellent split, switch leap to split jump. Dean, I'm seeing some fierce beam work today from Iowa. They came to play.
Yeah, it's not easy to start on the beam, and they are delivering. What a landing.
Superb landing from the super sophomore. I'm going to say that's going to be a big score, Dean.
Kaji had a 9.925 on the beam right before. I think there's a chance that Kinlan will surpass that 9.925. Loper with the best score in the first rotation with a 9.95 on the vault. UCLA saw Flatley get a 9.9 on the bars.
And here's another look at that beautiful side aerial full layout, full dismount to an effortless stuck landing from Adeline Kinlan. I'm hyped up watching her get so excited about that landing.
Yeah, Iowa does believe now, and that winning that regular season title has changed the dynamic for Larissa Libby. Coming up, it'll be Minnesota moving to the bars, UCLA moving to the beam, and Iowa showstoppers on the floor. Women's gymnastics right here on the Big Ten Network. Don't forget, here as we go to the second rotation, Minnesota will move to the bars, UCLA on the beam, and Iowa on the floor. Iowa had 2 of 4 athletes win the Big Ten floor championships right here at the PAV last year. As you see the warm-ups going with UCLA on the beam, Minnesota getting set for the bars, and Iowa on the floor. Iowa always delivers on the floor.
I have been looking forward to this Iowa-Minnesota-UCLA meet for numerous reasons, but mostly the Iowa-UCLA similarities on floor. They're expressive, they're unique, they're different. I'm excited to see those two in the same competition.
After one rotation, Iowa with a slim lead over Minnesota. Don't forget UCLA with 2 falls on the bars, so they're at 48.3. Iowa ties their team season high in the beam, and Kaji posts her individual season high, the 9.925 for Iowa on the beam. Let's take a look at the scores of the first rotation for each team here. And there they are, as you see the 9.95 from Anna Loper, helping with the 49.175. Those are the scores for the Golden Gophers. Remember, UCLA with 2 falls, so that's going to bring their score down.
Not the way they wanted to start their 2022 season, but again, let's not dismiss the fact that it's the first meet. They have 3 more events. This meet is far from over. UCLA has immense time for redemption and still a lot of time to prove that they're a team to watch.
If anybody would know about Claire Kaji, it would be you, and a season high for her on the beam. A beautiful job.
So well deserved, Dean. Claire Kaji is the epitome of a spectacular beam worker. She just looks like she's having fun on balance beam. And isn't that what you want? You want to see the athletes enjoying themselves. It's not just competing to get it done. You're doing this because you love it.
And Iowa's floor rotation is so deep, as you see Minnesota there, that Kaji at the moment is not on floor, but we do expect her, perhaps as the season progresses, to consider the all-around.
All we know from head coach Larissa Libby is that she is missing floor and excited to start training it again.
Iowa currently ranked 6th nationally on the floor with a 49.288 average, as you see Bridget Killian getting ready for the Iowa Hawkeyes, and you see the start value there as well.
I am a huge fan of Bridget Killian, and you're about to see why. She is going to open this floor rotation for Iowa with an extremely difficult triple twist, and she does it as well as I've ever seen. Big triple twist, floats it in the air, a little soft in the knees on the landing, but she covered it up very nicely to open up this rotation.
She had her career high against Texas Women's at 9.85.
Nice connection pass, a front handspring full to a front pike.
Larissa Libby saying she has not been afraid to add some extra difficulty on her routine.
That's exactly what you're looking for, Dean. You're looking for athletes to want to bring the difficulty. And finishing up for Bridget, big sky-high double tuck. Manages to stay in bounds. She was flirting with the out of bounds there. What a great starting routine for Iowa for this rotation.
So we'll move over to the beam. The freshman first up was Anna Padu-Rariu, and Padu-Rariu up on the beam for UCLA.
She opens it up with a very difficult candle mount, rated a D skill, which means she's going to get a 10th of bonus to her start value. Very difficult side aerial back handspring, and one of my favorite things about Anna on beam is her beautiful smile throughout the routine. She's even smiling in her leaps, jumps, and turns.
Redemption time for her as well, because she fell on the bars and she's showing it now on the beam.
She did fall, and you never would know. She looks like she's having a great time. Left bars in the pass, and look at that exquisite sheep jump. Took her eyes off the beam. So flexible and precise in her positioning.
Freshman from Ontario, Canada.
Gonna finish up a beautiful routine already. Side aerial full to a stick on her toes a little bit. Needed to hold it, but what a redemption for the freshman in her career start.
I feel like you call that a college stick, hanging on there with her toes.
I would classify that as a college stick.
All right, we'll move back to the floor for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Alex Greenwald, the senior from Coral Springs, Florida. Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School at a season-high 9.85 already this season.
I would say that Alex Greenwald is very underrated. I don't know if anyone was as impressed by that first pass as I was, that sky-high full in, but she is normally earlier on in the lineup, which means she doesn't get those later in the lineup scores and whatnot, but she is a spectacular staple in this Iowa floor lineup.
Nice to see Larissa Libby on the screen there as well. So active in the floor routines for the Hawkeyes. There's Coach Libby.
Very dramatic routine here from Alex. She goes into her second pass, a very difficult 2.5 to punch front. Fantastic routine from Alex. I've always loved watching her, but that routine is so powerful.
Allie Remgler first up on the bars. This is on tape as you see the bars line up for Jenny Hansen. Her career high is a 9.85.
And she flies high. Watch this first skill. A big Ray caught it a little close, had to bend her arms, but keeps moving nicely through this routine. Transition to the low bar bail handstand, slight leg separation. That's going to be a deduction, but she floats that handstand up nicely into the dismount. That is a rock solid stuck landing. Hallie Remlinger just set the tone for this bar lineup.
Move back to the beam as it will be Emma Malabuyu ready for UCLA.
Emma is her laundry list of accolades could go on for hours, and we talk a lot about Jordan Childs being an Olympian. Emma Malabuyo was an alternate for that team. Gorgeous back handspring layout, little uncertainty there on the landing, but she keeps moving through it very nicely.
Malabuyo, a freshman from the state of California.
Gorgeous front aerial. Nice little dance there on the beam. She looks so comfortable competing on balance beam. Split jump to another very difficult split ring jump, taking her eyes off the beam. She's going to finish it up with a back handspring to a 1.5 twist, looking for that stuck landing. And a little under-rotated there. She had to take a very sizable step backwards. They're going to have to take pretty big deduction for that, but the routine on the bar was great. On the beam, excuse me.
Malabuyo placed 4th in the all-arounds at the 2021 U.S. Championships. Second up on the bars for Minnesota, Mallory Lanieve, the junior from Lee Summit, Minnesota.
And this is a new event for Mallory. We haven't normally seen her on bars, and she worked really hard in the off-season to make it into this lineup, and here she is competing for the reigning Big Ten champs.
Career high of a 9.8 on this event.
Nice, difficult dismount there, hop forward. Judges are going to have to take a deduction on the landing, but it's really nice seeing her on another event. We get more Mallory Lanieve.
Coming up for Iowa, third up, a freshman already with a season high of a 9.875. It's a transfer, actually, from Michigan State, I believe, right? Linda Zivat.
That's correct, and she's going to open it up with a very difficult connection pass, a front through to a double tuck. My understanding is that's a new pass for her, and she competed it as a complete veteran.
Linda Zivat, by way of Michigan State, now performing for, in the Big Ten, the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Linda's been injured for the last 2 years, so seeing her on the competition floor competing is so exciting. Such an amazing accomplishment. Beautiful Rudy to back layout step out. One of my all-time favorite floor passes.
Season high last week, good for second place with a 9.875 against Texas Women's. Your thoughts on her finish?
Fantastic routine. I love the emotion that she brings to the floor exercise. Larissa Libby told us that every day in the gym when she lands something, she screams, "Yes!" from across the gym. Her passion is so noticeable.
You talk about super seniors. This is another one. Hannah Wilmarth electing to come back for one more year. So great to have her back. Her career high is a 9.925 on the bars.
And check out the height on that Ray release and the floatiness that came with her transition to the low bar. Blindfold into a double tuck. Spectacular landing. You know, Hannah doesn't get as much hype as Lexi Ramler and Anna Loper do, but let's remember that she's also in that super senior class, and that was a brilliant routine to start off her super senior season.
She had a 9.925 at the Big Fives last year, so the bigger the moment, the better performance. We move back to the floor as Adeline Kenlin with a career high of 9.85 ready to go.
Big opening pass here for Adeline. She's going to do a front double twist. Crazy power there. Had to leap out of the skill a little bit. Love seeing Claire Kaji here in the corner doing the choreography with as much emphasis and emotion as Adeline is doing it on the floor exercise. Second pass for Adeline Kenlin. She's going to do a 1.5 into a front layout. Looks like she missed the punch there after the 1.5 and had to bend her knees in the front layout, land a little low. Don't believe she fell, but it's going to be a pretty sizable deduction. Despite the second pass that wasn't exactly what she wanted, the routine is great. Looking forward to seeing more of it, perfecting that middle pass and making it a staple in that lineup.
You see Wilmarth with a 9.85. Now it's Anna Loper, the fifth-year senior from Bluffton, South Carolina, May River High School. 9.925 against Iowa, ironically, in the first meet, and then repeated that score at the Big Ten Championships, helping her team win the Big Ten Championships.
So far, so good for Anna. So floaty, so effortless as she goes into this blindfold double tuck. She's a cat. I swear, Dean, she can land anything. You can throw her out of a building and she can stick it. She has such amazing air awareness.
So now we move over to two of the best. As you start to break down Iowa, you need to remember, talking about the Hawkeyes, that Lauren Guerin, who's going now, and Q Henderson, they won the gold in the floor in the Big Ten Championship, sharing it with Anna Loper and Michigan's Gabby Wilson. Your thoughts on that first pass?
I have no thoughts. It was perfect. She's scored a 9.95 7 times in her career. So for anyone watching, she's been near perfect 7 times, and that first pass is a perfect description of that.
Yeah, if you're doing that 7 times, that's a model of consistency. And then to do it at the Big Ten Championships, that's bringing it home.
Lauren has always been a spectacular performer on this event as well. So not only can she tumble high, she can dance. Second pass for Lauren. She's going to do her combo pass, the front through to a double tuck. Beautiful landing, such control. Great job by Lauren Guerin. It is such a treat watching her do floor.
Shay Campbell, fourth up on the beam for UCLA. Career high 9.925.
Looks like there was a fall from Kendall Poston in the third spot. So there's some pressure here on Shay Campbell, and she's the person to put up to the test. And that right there was a great description of how she has ice in her veins.
Reigning Pac-12 Freshman of the Year, an outstanding rookie campaign for the Bruins.
So far, so good. She's looking solid and confident in this beam routine. Switch leap to a straddle quarter. Slight bobble in the hips, very, very minimal.
Here's a first-team All-American on the beam as a freshman.
And just the dismount left for Shay. A cartwheel into a massive gainer fall off the side of the beam. Slide back, but what a redemption routine for this UCLA beam lion.
So this is Jerquavia Henderson. She goes by Q. Look at her first pass.
I mean, the 1-2 punch of Lauren Guerin and Jerquavia Henderson is spectacular. They both do massive first passes. And then they do this. They have fun and they dance.
Like Guerin, a reigning champion in this event for the Big Ten.
Excellent extension on those leaps.
She had her career high against Minnesota last year, so she is right at home against the Golden Gophers.
Second pass here for Q. It's going to be a front through to a double tuck. Huge double tuck, just a slight hop forward. Great job by Jerquavia Henderson. I am such a fan of hers. What a spectacular routine.
The anchor for Coach Hansen in Minnesota on the bars, Lexi Ramler. Her career high is a 9.975.
I'm just going to stay quiet so we can watch this brilliance. Wow. She knows it was good too. I mean, she held every handstand. She showed control. She showed technique. Lexi Ramler is the epitome of NCAA gymnastics.
Her score is a 9.95 in the books for Lexi Ramler, who always seems to be above 9.95, and she gets it right there. We are rolling with UCLA, Iowa, and Minnesota. Iowa will head to the vault, Minnesota the beam, UCLA the floor, as we celebrate MLK Junior Day with each and every one of you. Minnesota as expected this time of the year, and also some brilliant gymnastics always expected at the PAV. As you see, Iowa through two rotations at 98.55, Minnesota at 98.45. Hard to believe, but a little bit of jitters from the seven-time national champion UCLA Bruins to start.
There are some jitters, yes, and of course seeing Margzetta Frazier get hurt on her bar routine breaks our hearts, but I'm really impressed with how UCLA has come back so far. I know they had a fall-on beam from Kendall, but regardless, we've seen redemption so far, and that's what it's all about. Can't have perfect gymnastics every single time. It's all about putting yourself in the mental space to do your absolute best.
As you see this third rotation, Iowa will be on the vault. Right there's Minnesota on the beam, practicing and on the floor. As you mentioned, no Margzetta Frazier, but not a bad sub. A Pac-12 co-champ will slide in there, and Paulina Trotz, the senior from Germany. So Boy, you talk about the depth. And, you know, when we start to think about Coach Waller and UCLA, when we asked him to describe UCLA on the floor, he couldn't do it. Like, he was just so overjoyed. He's like, I'm just going to sit back like you and soak it in.
Chris Waller had the biggest smile on his face when we asked him to describe what UCLA on floor means. And he told us that every single routine will elicit a different emotion. We're going to smile. We're going to get into it and feel emotion. He said watching Brooklyn Moores do floor is a performance. It's not a routine. She's performing. So I'm personally excited to sit back and watch this fantastic rotation, not to mention Iowa on vault and Minnesota on balance beam.
So we are being told that Kendall LaPlante will be inserted into the lineup, we think, as the leadoff. Let's take a quick look, though, at the scores from that second rotation. Lexi Ramler's now posted 8 of Minnesota's top 11 scores ever on the uneven bars as she adds to her incredible career with that 9.95.
I'm going to be honest, Dean, I thought it was a 10, but I'm not the judges.
We would not be surprised if we saw a 10 even early in the season. UCLA on the beam, led by that 9.985 from Samantha Sakti for 49.060. It's worth mentioning that UCLA is 14-0 all-time versus Minnesota. Their first visit to Minnesota since 2004. Iowa on the floor. Those two Big Ten champs at 5 and 6, pretty good.
I was going to say, I mean, clearly Lauren Guerin and Jaquavia Henderson are good at floor, and not to mention being co-floor champs at this past Big Ten championship. They're leading the pack right now on those spectacular floor exercises.
So Emily Cook, the home team, your host for this tri-meet. Originally just UCLA and Minnesota, but then Iowa lost a meet and reached out to Jenny Hansen. And of course they welcomed Iowa with open doors. And thank goodness the Big Ten Network also welcomed Iowa in.
The more gymnastics, the better, Dean. I love it.
Emily Cook getting ready, has a career high of 9.925. The sophomore from Bloomington, Minnesota, Bloomington Jefferson High School. Looking to perhaps top that 9.925 career high as she's on the beam.
The leadoff performer is very important on all 4 events, specifically on balance beam. You want someone who you can rely on. She's going to go up there and hit a great routine. She's going to be calm, cool, and collected, and she's going to set the tone for the remainder of the beam lineup. Nice back handspring layout. Slight adjustment there, but managed to minimize the deduction as much as possible. Beat jump to a split 3/4. Looked like her back leg was a little low. Judges are going to have to take a deduction for that. Beautiful front toss to one leg. I'm pretty sure, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, it is called a Lukin, done by the great Nastia Lukin. And finish up the routine. He's stuck 1.5. Now that right there is a great leadoff performer. Bravo, Emily Cook.
Yeah, bravo indeed. Minnesota on the beam. I think a real good chance. 9.925. Sarah Ulides for UCLA, her first pass, a career high of 9.725.
She starts off with a Rudy. She's going to do a 2-pass routine. Gets a lot of difficulty in her dance elements, as you just saw there. And this is a fun routine. Excuse me, all of their routines are fun, but this one just puts an immediate smile on your face.
Sophomore from Thousand Oaks, part of the Paramount Elite Gymnastics Club.
Nice job on those leaps there by Sarah.
Fun.
I'm enjoying myself. Just gonna do a 1.5 to a front layout. Very nicely done. Managed to keep Her foot in bounds. Important to note that if you step out of bounds, it's a 1/10 deduction, and she managed to avoid that very nicely.
Big-time coach for the UCLA floor team.
BJ Das is the best in the business. She has choreographed all of these UCLA routines to perfection. She also herself has quite an impressive resume, dancing alongside Beyonce, Pink, Usher, you know, those small artists.
So Kendall LaPlante, we mentioned earlier, inserted into the lineup, will lead off on the vault for the Hawkeyes.
She's going to do a Yurchenko full. Sizable hop backwards. You notice it was a little to the left as well. Directional deduction will have to be taken, but to be slid in right at the last second and to perform a nice vault, very well done.
We move over to the freshman Lauren Pearl with her first official run here for the Minnesota Golden Gophers on the beam.
Lauren's a very calm beam worker. Jenny Hansen said putting her second gives everyone time to take a deep breath because she continuously takes very deep breaths when she competes beam.
So as we see the freshmen, it's worth mentioning that Minnesota only lost 2 members of that Big Ten championship team, Mary Corlin Downs, a beam specialist, as well as Lexi Montgomery.
2 routines that really are irreplaceable. Both Lexi Montgomery and Mary Corlin Downs were so spectacular on balance beam that this beam lineup's going to look a little different. It has big shoes to fill. Nice extension on those leaps from Lauren. Final test in this routine. She's going to do a round off 1.5 dismount. Looking to find that coveted stuck landing here. Step to the side, but very floaty. She will definitely get the hang of finding that stuck landing. Nice job from the freshman.
Minnesota posted 3 of the team's top 10 all-time scores on the beam last season. As we move back over to the vault, Adeline Kenlin, a career high of 9.85 up next for the Hawkeyes.
And she drilled this vault on Friday at home. Let's see if she can do it again. Pretty good. Little slide, but Adeline Kenlin knows how to land a vault.
Over to Loper, the All-American on the beam, a 9.925 career high.
Anna Loper sometimes gets overshadowed by Lexi Ramler, but it's worth noting that she herself is a spectacular all-arounder, and she knows how to compete so well and so calm. Excellent opening skill there. Tri-meets really give you a taste of the madness, the circus that happens in postseason as Anna Loper stays calm, cool, and collected in that gorgeous front toss in a pike position, an upgrade from last season. Nice control there on her required leap connection. And just the dismount to cap off this routine from Anna. It's going to be a 1.5. Can she find the stick? And there it is.
Fantastic.
Ladies and gentlemen, Anna Loper is here for a big senior, super senior season.
So much elegance as it's Linda Zivit, 9.825 career high.
She's going to do a 10-0 vault. It's a Sukahara with a full twist to a stuck landing. We don't see that vault as often in NCAA gymnastics, and Linda does it as well as I've seen it. That was great.
So as we mentioned, Trotz from Germany, who actually was a co-champion Pac-12, comes off the bench as we saw the injury to Frazier. Not bad to have this outstanding member of the Bruins step in.
And Paulina is spectacular on floor. She's such a leader in this UCLA squad and opened it up with a beautiful and very difficult full twisting double back.
Super smart, the 2021 Pac-12 Gymnastics Scholar Athlete of the Year.
Nice position there in those leaps.
How tough is it to jump in there as a replacement? We mentioned her credentials, so they're legit, but she wasn't expecting to go.
It's tough, but if anyone can do it, it's Paulina Trotz. I mean, she is such a seasoned veteran and so talented on this event. She knows what she's doing. She can really be thrown in at any time, and we're seeing her handle that change in lineup so beautifully so far.
She placed 5th on the floor and 13th in the all-around at the 2017 World University Games.
She's going to end this routine with a big double tuck. She had some trouble at Meet the Bruins, their inter squad in December, and no trouble getting it around there. However, she did step out of bounds. We mentioned it earlier. That will be a 10th deduction on top of the other deductions within the routine. But for stepping in last second, very nice job.
Haley Tyson, the freshman from Aurora, Illinois. 4th to go for Coach Hansen and the Gophers, as you see the 9.875 from Loper.
Haley is going to do a very difficult triple series. She's going to connect 3 skills in a row. Back handspring, layout. Oh no. It looked like her foot slipped at the end of that series, causing her to fall, jump right back up. Switch leap to a straddle quarter. It's not easy falling on your first skill of your B routine because you have to get back up and keep going. And so far, Haley's handling that very well. It must not have felt very good, and it's really hard mentally, but look at that stuck landing, even after the fall. As a freshman to do that, that's a huge accomplishment.
Fourth vaulter for the Hawkeyes, Bridget Killian, comes in with a career high of 9.875.
The unsung hero is going to do a nice full twisting Yurchenko, hop backwards, excellent distance. She got amazing height and distance.
Brooklyn Moore starting on the floor for Coach Waller and the Bruins. So much depth for this UCLA team on the floor, as they have made it routine to take their floor routines viral over the last several years.
And this is one of those routines that you just want to watch and take in. Such a difficult opening pass, and then back to her performance.
Freshman from Canada.
She competes with such emotion. It's honestly, we're lucky to be able to see Brooklyn Moores compete in college gymnastics. Very nice job controlling those leaps.
2020 Olympic all-around finalist, placing 16th, 3-time World Championships all-around and floor exercise finalist from 17 to 19.
Ends with a combination pass of a front full to a front layout half, but my goodness, that was a treat. I can't wait for 4 more years of that. That was spectacular.
Well said. UCLA so brilliant on the floor. Next to last for Iowa on the vault, Lauren Guerin, who can hang up a big score. Her career high is 9.925.
She's going to do a full twisting Yurchenko as well. Really bouncy today. Normally she's really good at opening up those hips and honing in on the landing, but as Larissa Libby told us, she's working on getting their chest up on the landing on these vaults. The sticks will come, the chest up will bring the sticks. So a big hop like that on week 2, 3 of season, completely fine.
So Iowa, last to go on the vault is Q, Jerquavia Henderson. This was a minute ago. She had a 9.875, but now we get to see it.
And she can fly high. Did you enjoy her floor routine? Because you'll enjoy this as well. Massive Full twisting Yurchenko. Needs to absorb the landing a little bit more. Let herself settle in. Control, control, control. But very nice job. So far, such a spectacular meet for her.
Just a little bit under her team high on vault this season with a 9.925. Lexi Ramler, incredible on the beam.
I just become speechless watching Lexi Ramler compete. It's so technically beautiful. It's done well. She's putting on a clinic on balance beam, and we get the pleasure of seeing it live right here.
The only gopher to post multiple 10s 3 times, Lexi Ramler.
Beautiful opening series there. She looked a little off, and with the experience in her, managed to cover up any potential deduction as she smiles through this routine.
You have to remember, Salas is also out of the lineup because of an injury, so this was the one rotation where Jenny Hansen was most concerned about, but certainly not when you've got Ramler as your anchor.
Looking for that stick. Looked like she had the most minuscule hop backwards, but again, Lexi Ramler just doing Lexi Ramler things.
5th up on the floor. This is the first pass for Emma Malabuyo.
And head coach Chris Waller told us that if you're not smiling watching your routine, then you're not watching. Her smile is so infectious. I absolutely love it.
5-time U.S. national team member.
She's going to do a unique side pass, a 1.5 to a front layout. Very rarely do we see that done down the side of the floor.
Remember, Olivia, she was also the 2017 U.S. Junior Floor Exercise Champ, numero uno.
So she's pretty good at this event. Gorgeous leap positions. The last pass here for Emma. Double pike, controlled step backwards. Very nice opening routine to her NCAA career.
Extremely entertaining, and her teammates love it. We can tell you Ramler a 9.95 on the beam. Right before Ramler went, we were able to catch Abby Nyland, who 3 times has had a 9.85. She's looking to break into those 9.9s.
Being 5th in the lineup, again, all spots in the lineup are very important. 5th is another one where you're setting up your anchor, but you also need to put up a big score here. There's added pressure being later in the lineup. Another triple series. She looked off and she corrected it in the air. Very nicely done.
Senior from Rogers, Minnesota, Jenny Hansen has kept the best in Minnesota with the Golden Gophers.
Nice job there. Little flexed feet in the air on that switch side. Would love to see her work a little more on those details. Dismount left, she's gonna do a 1.5. Almost stuck, college stick right there, but very nice job on that routine.
That's good enough for her career high as we move to Shay Campbell, the sophomore from Carrollton, Texas. Last to go for UCLA on the floor. As you see, the best score coming from Brooklyn Moores, who was super elegant. Let's see what Campbell can do.
Shay opened it up with a sky-high full in, a little loose in the knees, soft in the knees as she landed. Had to take a deep squat down, but now this is a performance as well.
2021 Pac-12 floor exercise co-champion and 2nd team All-American last year on the floor.
Nice job on that connection pass. BJ has outdone herself this year. These routines are amazing. But let's not forget, the girls performing them have outdone themselves too.
Coach Waller was not kidding about how much joy UCLA on the floor brings.
Last pass here for Shea. It's a double tuck. Now that's a nice landing.
Quality mask, repping the Golden Gophers. In this building where they won the Big Ten regular season championships. We have one more rotation to go. It'll be UCLA on the vault, Iowa on the bars, Minnesota on the floor. Happy MLK Day from the Big Ten Network. Full crowd here to kick off our coverage of Big Ten women's gymnastics on the Big Ten Network. Even some visitors from the Pac-12 and Westwood, UCLA, the Iowa Hawkeyes jumping in last minute, and they may take this through 3 rotations. They've got a slim lead over the host, Minnesota. UCLA, they're in striking distance, though, at 146.125.
And Iowa is heading to bars, which is a spectacular event for them. They had some issues on Friday in their meet at home, casting over on some handstands, some breaks in body position, but it seems like right now they're on a little bit of a redemption tour. So I am not putting anything past them for putting up some big numbers here on bars.
Top team performance so far, Minnesota 49.275 on the bars. That same score of 49.275, Iowa's hit on the beam and the floor. Part of the reason why they are in first place. They have led this entire time. They led after the first rotation, the second rotation, and now the third rotation. Can they close the door? The top performers, no surprise, the super seniors from Minnesota. Anna Loper, a 9.95 on the vault. Lexi Ramler has doubled down on her 9.95s, hitting that score on the bars and beam. But right now, Larissa Libby is saying enough. She's also talking about moving the chains, as you see that score, 9.875 from Q and that 49.1. How about that Iowa motto, move the chains?
I love that. Larissa was telling us all about how Iowa's motto is that we are one chain link. And she said that chains are forged by fire, and that's their motto that you'll see on their social media that they're standing behind, is forged by fire, and that's exactly what this team is doing right now. They're leaning on each other and creating an unbreakable link.
Lexi Ramler with that 9.95, giving Minnesota the 49.075.
It seems like a low score of 49.075, but it's their first meet of the season. They had that fall from their freshmen, so they're looking for redemption here on floor.
Best score for the Bruins, Brooklyn Moores with that 9.875 for UCLA on the floor.
What a treat that was. I'm going to have to go home after this and watch it again, because it was just wonderful to watch Brooklyn Moores bring so much emotion and performance to floor.
Doing the wave here at the PAV as we get ready for the fourth and final rotation. UCLA in the gold. UCLA will trot out a lot of youngsters, but they're not your everyday youngsters, right? When you include Childs in that mix there as well. They are seasoned veterans, even though they're freshmen.
I mean, that freshman class is iconic. They have so many accolades to their name, and now they get to come to college gymnastics and just have fun and represent UCLA.
As the Bruins are getting set, we kind of spent a little extra time with Jenny Hansen talking about what it would mean to beat UCLA. How about Larissa Libby if Iowa can knock off Minnesota and UCLA? You talk about respect. They earned it last year as the regular season champs. As we are rolling, Iowa, Karina Tolan, a 9.85 and a little spill there on her landing.
A little shaky routine from Karina. She just looked like she got ahead of herself a little bit here and there, but again, she's in this spectacular bar lineup, so she's earned her spot to go first. So she's going to look to hone in on those deductions, clean everything up a little bit, but see what the rest of the lineup can bring to us.
All right, so on the floor, Emily Cook, who's got a career high of 9.85.
And we saw her on balance beam as the leadoff performer earlier, and here she is again as the leadoff on floor, meaning the team and coaching staff really trusts her to start the lineup off, and that was a great way to do it with a very difficult front double full connected to a front tuck.
Worth noting that 9.85 came in last year's Big Ten championships, helping her team win that Big Ten title.
Quite like competing on floor in front of a home crowd, Dean, and looks like Emily is completely enjoying that experience, as she should be.
How cute to see those future stars right behind her, loving every second of it.
Just brings a smile to my face. I absolutely love it. Final pass here from Emily. She's going to do a Rudy. Very nice landing. Nice job there on floor from Emily Cook, getting the Gophers started for their final rotation in their season opener.
Second up for Iowa on the bars, Mackenzie Vance, who, like Karina Tolan, who led it off and's got a 9.4. Her career high is also a 9.85.
Nice job in her opening release move, a Jaeger. Oh no. A little over there again on the cast handstand. We mentioned that Iowa had a little bit of the casting over jitters on Friday, but head coach Larissa Libby told us that aggressive mistakes are good mistakes, so I don't think she will be too upset about Mackenzie Vance really going for that hit handstand.
She's already had 2 second-place finishes in the first 2 meets of the year, including her career high 9.85, so she'll be disappointed with that fall.
Nice job bringing it back, though, with an excellent transition to the low bar. There's the handstand she was looking for. That is excellent on top of the bar. Over on that blind full, but a great stuck landing. Way to come back after a fall. Really important in our sport.
Remember, Iowa, as you see on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen with the slim lead through 3 rotations, but we'll most likely have to drop that as we move back over to the floor. Minnesota, Mallory Leneve.
Beautiful double pike for Mallory. Nice controlled landing there.
Mallory's career high was set at the regionals last year with a 9.925.
Gearing up for her second pass. Just going to do a 1.5 to a front layout. Very nice. So far, so good here on floor for Mallory. Last pass. She's going to do a double tuck. Looked like she took off a little funky, had to make a adjustment in the air and managed to pull it around on her feet. Nice thinking on her toes to finish off her night.
Nice job there. Let's get you caught up on the vault for UCLA, and we'll start with their leadoff, Emma Malabuyo, the freshman from the state of California, the Adirondack Learning Academy.
She's going to do a Yurchenko full, So pretty in the air. Needed a little more control there on the landing, but great leadoff routine from her.
Top scorer on the bars this season is this athlete right here, Alex Greenwald, with a 9.9 so far for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
She had some trouble on that handstand on Friday, no trouble today. Floaty pack salto down to the low bar. Looking for a stuck landing here for Alex. Oh no. She got it around, landed a little short, had to take a sizable step forward, but the rest of the routine was very nice.
See the all-around situation, a slim lead, as it always seems to be. Those two teammates are the best of friends, Ramler and Loper. Minnesota floor averages from last year, Ramler at a 9.925, Loper at a 9.944.
Very complicated opening pass for Lexi. And let's enjoy the queen, shall we? Lexi Ramler, you are a superstar.
Career high on the floor is a 9.95. I gotta believe it's going to be pretty close, as the Minnesota Golden Gophers perhaps feeling like they can come back in this. Remember, Margzetta Frazier was injured, so it'll be Flatley going second for the Bruins.
Her best friend as well, jumping in, helping her out with a massive full twisting Yurchenko, hop back, but Nora Flatley was put in this situation last minute and she did that. That's awesome.
Senior from West Des Moines, Iowa, back in Big Ten territory. As we go back to the bars, Allison Steffensmeyer, career high of 9.925.
She's gonna do a piked Jaeger, very elegant in the air. Really needs to get on top of the bar here. And had to do an extra cast handstand that is going to be a deduction. She was trying to remain on top of the bar on that half turn.
She took the bar title against the Texas women's team.
And a hop forward on the dismount. I would say that these Iowa Hawkeyes look a little jittery, a little nervous on bars right now, but let's not forget that they competed on Friday. So they must be a little tired so early on in the season to compete 2 times in 1 weekend.
Saw the score from Ramler. Now it's Hallie Remlinger on the floor. Remlinger, a 9.9 career high.
And this is a new event for Hallie. She does a huge full twisting double back. Nice control there on her leaps. Second pass for Hallie. It's a 1.5 to a front layout. Very nicely done. She's going to finish off her meet today with her last pass. Do a big double tuck. Knees glued together in the air. So well executed. Welcome to the floor lineup, Hallie Remlinger.
And with that welcome, you have to feel like Minnesota could be chasing down Iowa as we go back to the bars. Last year's Big Ten Freshman of the Year, Kinlan, as you see, Steffens by with a 9.65.
This is actually Claire Kaji. She stepped into the 5th spot. Very difficult eagle grip handstand. Beautiful floaty packed salto. And just the dismount here for the 6th year senior. Claire Kaji knows how to get it done.
Let's go back to the vault, the 3rd vault for Brooklyn Moors, as you see a couple 9.7 pluses for the first 2 for UCLA. Here's the freshman.
And she's gonna do a front handspring, high calf, to a stuck landing. She looked like her chest was down, which means that the judges are gonna have to take a deduction. So although her feet didn't move, her body position wasn't exactly what you would garner a perfect score, but very difficult vault for Brooklyn Moors.
You wanted a 10, Maya Hooten, a year ago, a perfect 10 versus Nebraska. You talk about loving the camera and the camera loving her right back. That's the story with Maya Hooten.
My gosh, I love Maya Hooten on floor. It's truly one of the best experiences in the world watching this young woman compete floor. Absolutely flawless opening pass, and then turn on the heat. Second pass for Maya. She's gonna go front handspring, front full, to a pike. Spectacular stuck landing, Dean. I see nothing wrong with this routine so far.
Elegance, fun, poise.
And she can tumble. Last pass, so far so good. She wants this stick so badly. Step forward. The judges could take off for stepping forward and not back, but my goodness, that is a treat to have on the floor.
This massive crowd knows that something is cooking here with Minnesota in this final rotation.
And Maya Hooten has just brought so much fun to Minnesota's floor lineup.
You see the score for Moors, Jordan Childs, the silver medalist for the USA.
She's gonna do full twisting. Oh no, she did the double. And lost control a little bit there through a very hard vault. It's a double twist. Much more difficult than what we're seeing. It looks like she lost her balance a bit and had to take numerous steps backward.
Maya Hooten, a 10 last year against Nebraska. You felt like on that last pass, one little step, so probably not a 10, but a really big score I think is coming her way.
Still a very large score is going to come up. She deserves it as well. She did everything well.
So a flat 9.9 for Hooten. And you wonder if it, just that little step. Kendall Poston in the 5th position, a 9.9 career high.
She's also going to do similar vault, same vault as Brooklyn Moors, front pike half. Oh no. And it looks like she didn't have enough rotation there. Ended up putting her hands down. Very, very short landing.
Anna Loper.
So floaty on that front layout to a Rudy.
Olivia, 9.95 last season, 5 times for Loper, including at the Big Ten Championships.
She is the definition of consistency.
She was a 10th behind in the all-around and to Ramler, and Ramler had a 9.925.
She's going to do a massive 2.5 twist. A little lost control there on the landing. She had to step backwards and then move her front foot to the side. Judges can take for that lack of control. Not much, but they can take something.
brought in a brand new floor routine last season that Coach Hansen was thrilled with, and of course 5 times with that routine, the 995.
Final piece of gymnastics for Minnesota in this competition, a 1.5 to a front layout, done as well as she always does.
Could it be enough for Minnesota? I think it might, to overtake Iowa and win at home. So remember, they flip-flop. It was Kaji moments ago, so now it's Kenlin up for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Beautiful and elegant first handstand there for Adeline. Nice shaposh. Pack salto down to the low bar. Toe handful, a little over handstand, but to a stuck landing and a spectacular college finish there for the super sophomore Adeline Kenlin.
I like that switch as well. Remember Larissa Libby talking about Kaji's 6 years, being like the mom, and has been such a role model for Kenlin, helping Kenlin know what it takes to finish it off. Last to go on the vault for the Bruins, Shea Campbell, who has an impressive career high of 995.
And she's going to do a full twisting Yurchenko. She has the ability to stick it perfectly. And that right there was as well as I've ever seen her do it. Just a reminder that that vault only starts from a 995. Her career high is a 995. So she's reached that perfect mark on that vault. And that was a great and perfect example of how she knows how to land it.
You see the coach Waller with hugs, but UCLA was a perfect 14-0 coming in against Minnesota. They are no longer perfect, as this will be Minnesota's first ever win against UCLA in 15 meets. We're going to come back to crown champions and get you updated on the all-around champion as well. Minnesota, Iowa, and UCLA right here on the Big Ten Network. Martin Luther King Jr. made history as a civil rights leader, and today the Minnesota Golden Gophers women's gymnastics team makes a little bit of history on their own. For the first time in 15 tries, they knock off UCLA. They also beat Iowa with an amazing capper on the floor. Minnesota wins the tri-meet with a score of 196.9. With Olivia Karras, I'm Dean Linke, and we're joined by the 3-time Big Ten Coach of the Year, Jenny Hansen. And Jenny, we kind of asked you what would it mean to beat UCLA. You actually got the double with that great finish in front of this marvelous crowd. Talk about your team's performance.
Well, we're just so proud of how they did. This is such a new environment for so many of our athletes, and they really handled it well. This was exactly the performance we were looking for to start the season.
Jenny, you had a few mistakes here and there, but your athletes really came through and picked right back up, brought the team back on track. Talk to us about how you feel about that leadership and learning how to compete like that.
Well, it's so huge. You know, each one of our athletes, they got to be responsible for themselves and not worry about the person before or after them. And I think they did a really good job of that today. We had some new people in, and so, you know, I'm really proud of them, and I really think this is a wonderful learning experience for them, and looking forward to next weekend already.
How about the celebration of this crowd? You've got the juniors performing right now, a big-time crowd, which says a lot about what you've built here.
Well, we're just so thankful we brought in just tremendous opponents in UCLA. We haven't had them here in almost 20 years, and I know our fans were so excited about seeing them. So I want to thank UCLA for coming here in the cold and braving the winter and being with us here today, because it really means a lot to our fans and to our program to have them here.
Jenny, talk to us about the great Lexi Ramler, another all-around title. She is just flawless and spectacular. I know she's back for a 5th year. Talk to us about what she means to you, this Minnesota program, and NCAA gymnastics.
Well, she's done everything we've ever asked her to do, and she's such a role model for our student athletes. what she does in meets, she does every day in practice, and I think that just shines, and she has such great confidence when she gets to competition because of the way she trains and how deliberate she is in everything she does. And it's just so wonderful for her to be back in the path competing in front of fans that really, truly appreciate what she does.
Final question before we let you go and then eventually talk to Lexi Ramler. You're not done with the bright lights. The reigning national champs, Michigan, next week on the Big Ten Network. Talk about that matchup.
Well, it's going to be exciting. There's no question. You know, we always love having Michigan come to us. I know it's been a little while for us for a dual meet having them here, so it's going to be super, super exciting. You know, these two teams, us and Michigan, we've had fantastic weekends, so it's going to be an incredible meet. We can't wait.
Thank you so much, Jenny. Go enjoy this victory with the crowd and your team. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much.
All right, Jenny Hansen, the mom of two and the coach of Minnesota. As Minnesota takes it down, we'll be back hoping to talk to Lexi Ramler live on the Big Ten Network. Absolutely rocking today on MLK Junior Day, and the Minnesota Golden Gophers on the floor, surpassing Iowa and UCLA, led by their super senior back for another show, Lexi Ramler, taking the all-around with a 39.7. Another brilliant performance from one of the all-time greats and the focus of our State Farm State of Success. Lexi Ramler, a three-time Big Ten Gymnast of the Year award, owns program records in vault, bars, beam, and all-around. #1 on the beam, #2 in all-around last season, and of course the 2021 AAI award winner. And Lexi Ramler joins us now, the super senior, back for another run. What a great way to kick off another run, knocking off UCLA, by the way, for the first time in program history. What does that mean for the Golden Gophers to start the season?
Just to start the season, I mean, even to get back out here in the pad, there were so many people here. It was so much fun. We went out and just killed it, and we had so much fun out here.
Lexi, it's your 5th year. I know you came back for more. You want more. You're hungry for more. Talk about this team's goal for 2022.
This team's goal is obviously just to return to Big Tens, take that champions, and then head to nationals just like we did last year. We have a lot of experience on this team, a lot of new experience as well. So we're just excited to put it together. We're working hard, and we're here to win.
Because you're back, it'll be a similar story. One of your best friends, Anna Loper, and you will battle it out for the all-around. Walk us through that process. It is tight every time.
It absolutely is. Even in the gym, we push each other every single day. I don't think I'd be as good as I am without her. We're there to support each other, but we push each other too. So whatever she does, I do, and we just continue to support each other.
Lexi, you have a lot of new faces on this team this year, specifically in the beam lineup. I know some things didn't go particularly as planned, but talk about how your team redeemed themselves and how these freshmen did in their first meet.
I think to even get out here again, I mean, this is the first year we have 2 classes that are coming in that are dealing with fans and being in the PAB. So it's a new experience for everybody, but I think we're, as a team, able to bounce back, and we're just going to get into the gym, work harder, and work under that pressure, and return even stronger.
All right, Lexi, we're going to show the highlights. Walk us through your day, starting with the vault, moving to the bars, the beam, and the floor.
Yeah, starting on vault, I had a lot of energy, so I overshot it a little bit, but I was really just making sure that I could support Anna, set her up well, and she did amazing like she always does. So she killed it. Bars, I was feeling really confident and just went in there, and when I stuck that dismount, I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be back. That's when it really hit me that I was just really excited about the fans. I could feel the energy. Beam, I was nervous, like I always am, but definitely kind of settled in there. And again, stuck that dismount, and it was just feel the energy of the pad. And then on floor, just feeding off of the fans, feeding off of my team. It was an incredible experience.
Well, Lexi, you don't look nervous at all. I have to say, you truly are a beam queen. I'm so impressed by all of your balance beam work and on all-around work. What would you say today was a highlight for you in your performance?
In my performance specifically, I think was bars. Just sticking that dismount, and again, just with the fans being back and the pad just cheering. Oh my gosh, it's such an experience. But just being here with the team is definitely the biggest highlight for sure.
Lexi, we get a front row seat to see your brilliance, and we'll see it again next week against Michigan. Can't wait for that. Enjoy this one, and good luck against the Wolverines.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, always a pleasure talking to Lexi Ramler. And, of course, she mentioned she liked the bar routine the best.
I don't know how she chooses one event that she likes the best. She's so talented, but this routine really put together all that is Lexi Ramler as an athlete. It was so precise. It was so clean. She took her time. She held handstands. She was so aware of what was happening, and I can echo what she said. There's nothing quite like sticking a dismount in front of a home crowd, your team behind your back. It's magical, and she'll remember that one for the rest of her life.
And with that performance, it helped her win the all-around with a score of 39.7, just getting by the other super senior, Anna Loper, who finished second at 39.525. We're not done here from the pad. We'll be back to wrap up this victory for Minnesota on the Big Ten Network right after these messages. To illustrate what a program Minnesota has, and they knock off Iowa and UCLA to win their opening event, and break down the floor scores for Minnesota, because that is the reason they won.
Minnesota capped off a great day with an excellent floor rotation. You see these scores, nothing below a 9.85, and room for improvement. It's early in the year, but these young women really put it all out there. They were in front of their home crowd. They had that energy and excitement, and look at those, the scores reflected it. Personally, I'm excited to see Maya Hooten continue to dazzle the NCAA. I think she is one of the best floor routines right now in our sport. Iowa on bars wasn't exactly what they were looking for. They had 3 really strong events going into their final event on bars. However, let's not forget that they competed on Friday. This squad has had 2 full meets in the last weekend, so there's a lot to be proud of here. They got to practice being patient. UCLA finished it up on vault, not exactly what they were looking for, but they had a lot of moving pieces in this competition today, with Markzetta Frazier leaving the lineup, having to make a change, but capped off by an amazing 9.9 by Shea Campbell for that brilliant full twisting Yurchenko.
Big picture. It's great to have Olivia Karras here, because you're paying attention to everybody, but Big Ten certainly represented in the preseason rankings.
Very impressed with how the Big Ten is looking so far nationally. I think it's only going to get better. Looking forward to seeing more of those teams on the Big Ten Network this season.
Could not do it without the incredible work of our SIDs from Minnesota: Sadie Keller, Liza David at UCLA, James Allen at Iowa. That's going to wrap it up from Minnesota, where Minnesota finishes in first, Iowa second, UCLA in third. The all-around winner, Lexi Ramler from Minnesota, Anna Loper finishing with a close second. I want to thank Jim Bressler, our producer, Doug Brown, our director, Mike Rodolfi on stats, our All-American Olivia Karras, and our entire Big Ten crew. I'm Dean Linke saying so long from Minneapolis, where you saw Minnesota win it right here on the Big